Hi, this is Nicholas Bell with IONCINEMA, here to review Nocturne, the directorial debut of Quirke, which premiered on Amazon Prime October 13th, 2020 as part of the Welcome to the Blumhouse series. This is of the second pair of titles. There will be another 4 coming next year. So this is a very familiar, arguably derivative narrative about 2 sisters. They're fraternal twins, Juliet and Vivian, played by Sydney Sweeney and Madison Iseman. Vivian is, they both attend a prestigious musical academy. Juliet, since a child, has wanted to be a pianist, a concert pianist. But it's clear that Vivian is the one that has been groomed to be the star. She was accepted early at Juilliard, while Juliet was not. And Juliet is being groomed by her music teacher, played by John Rothman, to be a teacher like himself, which she is very resistant about. The film actually opens with a fellow student, Moira, who, after scrawling some strange letters on the wall, throws herself to her death. And Moira's notebook ends up finding its way into Juliet's hands. And inside the notebook are these strange incantations and illustrations, which make it clear that this is a Faustian tale about one selling one's soul to move ahead creatively or professionally. And so, of course, Moira was the concerto soloist, and they have to redo the competition at the school to replace her seat. So Juliet sees this as her chance to impress a Juilliard headhunter, if you will, and she decides that instead of playing a piece by Mozart, she is going to do Camille Saint-Saëns' Piano Concerto No. 2, which is the same piece her sister's playing. That doesn't go quite as well as she planned, but you know, the devil works in mysterious ways, and her sister becomes injured, and she is offered the role of the concerto soloist. The sound design is great, and the original score by Gazelle twin, a woman named Elizabeth Bernholtz. I really liked Sydney Sweeney, who's got this Billie Eilish vibe about her, but it's a film that really feels derivative when it's working within the genre elements. And it is much more interesting to see the goings-on of Juliet and the medication she has to take for performance anxiety and all of those very cerebral things going on is where the strengths lie. But even that feels a bit derivative too, because then this ends up feeling a bit like Poor Man's Black Swan. The parents, the mother, which is played by Julie Benz, the psychological portrayal of them and the whole family dynamic feels a bit off. They're portrayed as these kind of tasteless rubes that really could care less about what their daughters are doing, even though, you know, historically these kids would be a meal ticket for them. There's a slight passing conversation with Ivan Shaw, who ends up being both of the girls' music instructor after Roger is fired for slapping Juliet. There's a little mention made of how this is a dying tradition, cultural tradition, especially in American culture. But it, you know, if we're thinking about it, it's really Austrian literature that has mined this to death. So if we're comparing this film to something like Suspiria, that's the Elfriede Jelinek tier of this, when this is more like Ernst Weiss's Franziska, about a pianist who also ruins herself in pursuit of something that no one thinks she's good enough to do. It's also a lot about cultural gatekeepers and who has the deciding factor of who fits the profile of being a star, because Ivan Shaw tells Juliet that in fact she does have what it takes. She is actually a better player than her sister, but she doesn't have that profile that the school is looking for, Juilliard is looking for. Carmen Cabana lends the film, and there are some choice shots that are quite effective, but it's almost as if, whether due to budgetary constraints or whatever, the visuals don't pop as much as they probably could. Overall, I'd say Sydney Sweeney is definitely someone who makes an impression, and I also really liked Ivan Shaw, who is, you might know from supporting character on Insecure. Overall, I would give Nocturne 2.5 out of 5 stars. Thank you.
Hey, this is Eric from IONCINEMA.com. If you want to support us, subscribe below. For more reviews, interviews, film festival coverage from Sundance, Cannes, Toronto, you want to check out these guys on this side.